Right, first thing to say is wow. Trades, okay, it's not nice from the point of view that if it goes wrong it's awful, but this could be huge, it really could be massive. We've acquired Hal Gill in a trade with the Maple Leafs, which is a good move. Apparently all picks out of favour, and at the end of the year he's an unrestricted free agent, so he might be off, and Gill's got another year on the contract, and he's a big physical defenceman, good on the penalty kill, and he likes to play that one-on-one matchup with the star player, so he's going to be a good addition, I think, going down the stretch. Then the only other deal was the one that everyone's talking about. We acquired Marian Hossa and Pascal Dupuis from the Atlanta Thrashers, Armstrong, Christensen, Esposito, and a first rounder go in the other direction. And you know, what can you say? It's a deal that's been done because we want to. You know, Hossa hadn't gone anywhere. It was coming to that end bit of the trade deadline, and Shiro just thought, I guess, you know, they've been discussing it a lot, because he said he spoke to the general manager of the Thrashers quite a bit previously, but it was one of those moves that he thought, hey, let's do it, and you know, we're gonna try and re-sign him, but if we can't, then we just got to focus on winning the cup this year. It sounds a bit weird, it still feels weird to me. I still don't really see us as a cup contender, except for the fact that we've got Hossa. Before that, everyone's still sort of thinking, yeah, well, you know, even if we do get out of the East, we've got to face one of those big guns in the West. You've got San Jose made a good pickup, they'll be a force in the postseason. Detroit, what can you say, they're always going to be there. Dallas, they picked up Brad Richards, good move. The Ducks, I mean, that's such a powerful four teams from the West. Any of those teams could probably just overpower us if we face them in the finals. But I'm going to stop talking about that. I don't want to jinx this. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But yeah, really interesting stuff. Really good. Really shame to see Armstrong go. He's a really hard worker, but you know, I think he's replaceable in his performance. His presence in the dressing room as Crosby's good friend is probably not quite as easily replaced, but you know, we'll get there. Hossa, you know, his calibre speaks for itself. He's a great player, and hopefully he can fit in and then get some good playoff action. He said, I heard an interview with him just after the trade. He said he's really looking forward to playing with the Penguins. He doesn't want to think about his contract right now, and he said about playing with Crosby, he's the greatest young player playing right now, and he's looking forward to it, which is what he said about 5 or 6 times. So it's really interesting times, and I'm really excited. So these are some of the other trades that went down at the deadline yesterday. Brad Richards to the Dallas Stars. I think that's actually a really good move for both parties. You know, Mike Smith's going to be a number 1 in Tampa Bay. They're going to get themselves a good, solid number 1 goalie. Richards will play top-line minutes, or at least he'll play with Lehtinen, who's much more defensively aware probably than the players that he was playing with on the second line at Tampa. Halpin's a good character, in-your-face player that Tampa Bay are going to need, you know, if they're going to revive their dressing room, get the team ready for next year, I suppose. And Jussi Jokinen could be a top 6 winger, and he's lethal in the shootouts. Capitals made some good moves. I like their moves, actually. You know, they didn't give up too much, and they're giving themselves a chance in the postseason if they were to get there, or you know, they're giving themselves a chance to get to the postseason and to make an impact. They got Hewitt from Montreal, which is just a crazy move from Montreal, giving up a second and putting Carey Price in the driving seat in the playoffs. It's, you know, that's a really big move. It could be a great move. You know, okay, a second round's not great, but it could be the thing that changes Carey Price into the number 1 goalie that he could be, and really sets him going. But anyway, the Capitals also picked up Fedorov from Columbus and Cook from Vancouver, and I think those 2 players, if they get to the postseason, then, well, not only will they help them get to the postseason, but if they get there, they're going to be invaluable. They're great experienced players. Cook hasn't got a lot of playoff experience because he spent his whole time in Vancouver, but Fedorov knows what he's doing there, and Cook he's a good experienced head, and he'll enjoy his time there, I think. The Sharks got a hell of a lot better with just 1 move. Got Brian Campbell, a puck-moving defenceman. He can also hit a bit. He's a great defenceman as well. He's going to help their transition and their power play. I saw them against the Penguins just the other day, and they were just hideously boring. You know, their power play is atrocious. It's right down there at about 16, 17%. Because a player like Joe Thornton on your team, it shouldn't be that low. And, you know, and Chi-Chu barring them in, it's got to be better. And I think they're going to be a real contender come the post-season. The Avalanche seem to think it's the year 2000 again. You know, they signed Forsberg again very recently. They still have Sakic and Hayduk, and they were after Rob Blake, or at least he wanted to. He was the Avs were the only team he wanted to go to if he left LA. They've just picked up Adam Foote from Columbus for some picks or conditional picks, and you know, Columbus, what are they doing? You know, Adam Foote wanted to sign there. Get him signed up. He's the captain of the team. He's the heart of that team. He's one of the players that people come to watch the team for. Still haven't made the postseason. They're not going to do it now because they also got rid of Fedorov, and I think they're just looking to rebuild and just maybe they're targeting a few years' time or maybe next year when they've got some more picks in their lineup and they're getting a bit more experience and they can make that postseason. The Avs, you know, I think they could be quite contenders. You know, if Forsberg can get fit and healthy, it'll be interesting. You know, that's a big if. You know, they've got Sakic coming back from injury now. Stasny's back, I think. You know, they picked up more toughness in Ruslan Soleil, and they got people like Ryan Smith, who just, you know, he's a great player. The only question mark about them is goaltending. But it's going to be really interesting. This is where it all starts to get interesting. Analysing the trade deadline, you know, who are the winners and losers.